All right, and let's give people a moment here to show up if anyone does. I don't typically have a whole lot of good luck with this, but we will find out. And yes, I am still testing Streamlabs out. I've got chat up. So if you send me a message, or if you send a message in chat, you should see it. But again, I don't know why it's popping up Audio Radio Live. I've changed it like 3 times. So yes, I'm not live at Defense Distributed or doing a video on the press conference. That was like a goddamn month ago. So yeah, stand by for just a moment here. All right, another 20 seconds, folks, then we'll get rolling. And if someone that's watching could just drop a message in chat, just put test, I don't care, so I can see if that pops through on my end, and also to make sure that you guys can hear me okay. So, sound is good. Thank you, Kurt. Much appreciated. This is pretty cool, guys. Streamlabs is where it's at. I'm doing all this from my phone right now, using LTE out here in Liberty Intertech Radio live from Liberty Hill, Texas. I guess Vonu podcast too, but those are kind of just I guess intermingled now, at least for the time being. But hey, Liberty Cats, good to see you back. Definitely good to see you back. So we got 4 people, which is great. So I guess I should kind of explain, because there might be some folks who don't know what the hell I'm doing and where I'm at and all that sort of stuff. So basically, I am in Liberty Hill, Texas. I'm tent camping for the next 4 days. Until the 27th, I think, if I got my dates right. And reason being, I had to get out of the apartment today. So it's been an interesting day, to say the least. It's been a long one. It's been a really long one. I just say for the first time like an hour ago once I got everything set up. But oh, and another government story. So I mentioned in other shows and podcasts that I was going to be staying at Emma Long Park, and it was a pain in the ass to get it set up because their system was down 3 weeks longer than they had expected. They couldn't take my money even though I wanted to give it to government, which I don't typically want to do that. But for staying in for paying $10 a night to tent camp, I figured it was worth it, and plus it was 15 minutes away from basically wherever I need to go. So that was the plan. I woke up today and started to get everything ready, and got a call from Emma Long at like 10:30, and they said, "Oh yeah, by the way, there's no tent camping here for the time being." I was like, really? Really? You're calling me like I'm coming to check in like 3 hours, and you're telling me that even though I talked to a lady on the phone to reserve these spots, you're telling me that I can't camp there. So kind of panicked a little bit, was pissed off because government incompetency. I mean, what can you expect? Goddamn Travis County. And I started making some calls and found a place here in Liberty Hill, Texas. It's about 25 miles north of Austin, but it's $6 a night, and there's no daily entry fee. So I can stay here for $6 a night. And I guess here I should kind of show you guys where I actually am. Bear with me here for a moment. So yeah, this is the campsite, and it's empty right now. So basically on Friday it's completely booked up, I guess, but it's just me and the volunteer that are kicking it here. I guess he lives here. But yeah, and I'll go back around the other way, stand up and not be lazy. So yeah, number 11 here. There's the old tent. And I got my nice little spot back here. I'll be here until Friday. So let me put you guys back down here for a moment. So yeah, it's a nice little spot. It really, really is, and it saves me about when I'm paying like $40 for 4 nights. I mean, I can't really complain. Well, I guess it's more so 60 with the daily entry fee. But that's, you still can't complain about that. You still definitely can't. But here, $6 a day, and it's pretty incredible. That is pretty incredible. So it's a beautiful spot. Like I said, it's been an interesting day. So I had to deal with that whole Emma Long Park debacle, which was ridiculous. And then I got everything loaded into my car. So my car looks like it did like 4 months ago, where the rear suspension is sagging a little bit. It's sagging just a little bit, but I didn't bring as much stuff as I typically do, or as I did last time. So it was didn't take as long to load everything up, and There's certainly a lot less, but still hard on the old girl. Feel kind of bad. She's 1998, and oh yeah, she's been through some stuff in the past few months, but I think she'll hang in there. Kurt, no, it's not private owned. This is it's actually I guess it's like the what is it called? The engineers, like the Army engineers or something like that. I don't know what the actual title is, but yeah. Hey, Jason, thank you very much for that. Audio is great. Link is shared on the Facebook. That's a good deal. Appreciate that, sir. Because like I said, I'm doing all this from my phone, and yeah, I can't do all that. Can't do all that. But yeah, so this is the beginning to my journey, and it's incredible. I mean, it really is. It's perfect weather. I think it's like 65 degrees. Now to a Texan, that might be a little chilly. I don't know. Maybe that's a little sarcasm there, but like this is perfect camping weather. Perfect camping weather. And it was supposed to. I mean, it's supposed to continue raining. Let me put the camera here, but as you can see, I mean, it's just clouds in the sky, but it's blue. I mean, it's not. It's not, you know, no thunderstorms are rolling in right now. But that was another interesting thing driving in, is I had to drive through some some pretty deep sketchy holes. But made it, and everything is okay. So yeah, this is the beginning to the adventure. I'll be here until Friday, and then I'll be hanging out with my dad for a couple days. And then I'll meet up with Henza on Sunday. Henza, and I think Svet's coming with us too. We'll meet there in just south of Austin, and we'll stay the night at someone's house that we don't know, but that's also a fellow anarchist. And we will head south to the border and get there in the morning sometime, and then by nightfall be in Mexico City. I think we're going to stay there. Henza said that landslides are a problem. You know, driving through the mountains down to Acapulco, and he doesn't want to do it at night. And I said, let's stay the night in Mexico City. Like, I ain't trying to die on the way down there. Not trying to do that. So, okay. And Merrick, hey, good to see you, man. Good to see you. In many ways, I'm jealous of you, bro. Oh, well, I don't know. See, like, I've thought about this myself too. Like, I'm in a pretty bad situation financially. Like, for Acapulco, you know, I'll be going down there with a decent amount of money. But as far as, you know, for being my age, if I look at you know, some of the people that I know and associate with, and also like you know, my family, some people in my family, you know, they're in a lot better financial situations, but they can't do these things. They just don't have that. It's a different kind of freedom, I guess, right? There's the financial freedom where you don't really have to worry about money too much, and that'd be a great thing, and I aspire to that. It's like that's obviously the goal. But I like spontaneity, and this past year has been interesting because I don't know, I was getting a little stir crazy in Central Illinois. I really was. So yeah, last year I moved to an hour south to Decatur, but it wasn't far enough. And then 7 months later I moved down to Austin, and 4 months later, yeah, going out to Acapulco. So I don't know, I don't know. I know what you mean to a certain extent, Merrick, but I mean, it's, you know, advantages and disadvantages, I guess you could say. So that's kind of how it is with everything in life. So, you know, I'm really looking forward to the adventure, and I don't know what's going to happen, obviously. Have no idea at all. But, you know, it's going to be an adventure, a road trip through Mexico, and then down to Acapulco, the alleged crime capital of Mexico. So it will certainly be enjoyable, and I'm really happy the chat's working. Yeah, guys, for any of you who do live streams and such, Streamlabs, because they have, I guess these plugins just come in, you know, by default, and I can't see the viewer. Actually, yeah, I can't see the viewer count. So the viewer count pops up, and then also I can see the chat. Which, if you're just live streaming, other ways have live stream, you can't really do that. So it's a pretty cool little app. But yeah, thank you, Liberty Cats. I'll probably need the luck. But I guess. Yeah, I don't know what else. Didn't really have anything else on the docket. I was just going to fill you guys in on where I am and what I'm doing for those who haven't been keeping up. And yeah, I mean, this is where I'm kicking it for the next few days or so, and it's pretty sweet, And yeah, I'll keep you guys apprised. I plan on doing probably one of these in the evening because I'll have plenty of time. I'll certainly have plenty of time to do this. I'll be during the day. I'll be driving back to Austin, which is like 25 minutes, and I'll drive for Postmates. And what I'll probably do is wake up early and go work out, and then I'll be in downtown Austin anyway, so I'll just deliver for Postmates until like 6 or 7 p.m. and then come back. I just didn't want to do that tonight because I didn't know where I was going, and if I would have came in here at night, you know, in the dark, I had to go through those mud puddles. I probably would have turned around and I probably would have gotten scared and turned around. So, and I also didn't want to step the tenant. I'd have done that before, and that's major pain in the ass. But yeah, I guess, did you guys have any questions or anything you want me to talk about or anything like that? I don't really have too much else here. Just drinking a beer. That's another good thing. When I did my van nomadism practice run in Illinois, at the public parks there, at the public parks there, they don't allow, they consider drinking beer at a public park, even if you're camping there. They consider drinking in public. Not here though, not here. So I don't have to hide it. Cheers, folks, and yeah, just hanging out. All right, so if there's, let's see. Yeah, Liberty Cat, I'm out of Illinois. Yes, I have been for 4 or 5 months, and it's been different, and it's been different. In many ways good, and some bad. I kind of learned that, there may not be as much opportunity in Illinois, but the cost of living, dude, so much cheaper than Austin. So much cheaper. So, I guess that is kind of a downside. And I also learned one thing I was looking forward to about Texas is the no state income tax. But with government, if they don't tax you for that, they'll get you somewhere else. If I was going to, thankfully I didn't do this. You're supposed to do it after living in Texas for 3 months. You're supposed to register your car, and if it's never been registered in Texas before, it's like $300 or $400. In Illinois, I don't remember it ever costing that much. I think I paid like $120, and maybe for a new vehicle in Illinois, maybe $200, but $300 or $400. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, yeah, there are advantages to Texas, but it's not this beacon of freedom that a lot of people say it is. Yeah, guns, it's a great thing. It's a great thing, but as with as is the case with government, if they don't get you in one way, they'll stick you in another. So that's kind of unfortunate, and also the cost of living. Jesus Christ, I'm paying more for utilities than I was in rent in Illinois. So, yeah, there's some good things and some bad. I did get to go to a shooting range here though. It's the first one I've been to. It's in Illinois. Well, you can probably go shoot somewhere without a FOID card, but I don't know. I really didn't try too hard in Illinois. I tried to get my FOID card before when I was kind of considering leaving. And then they denied me the Illinois State Pledges. I said, so it was compounding reasons why I wanted to get the hell out of there. Many reasons. But yes, Liberty Cats, yeah, it's, well, and sometimes, yeah, in some ways, yeah, it is, freedom can be expensive. Like, buying a yacht to, minimalist sailboating, you can't really call it minimalist with a yacht. But if you're buying, even just like a 40-foot sailboat, I mean, shit's expensive. It's very expensive. So yeah, it can be expensive. Or what I'm hoping to find out in Acapulco is that freedom is very cheap. Freedom is very cheap. Bribing the cops is very cheap to do. 500 pesos isn't that much money in American terms. So I mean, freedom can be as expensive as you want it to be. Obviously, as we've talked about before, different strategies require different levels of investment capital. But that's why Vonu is certainly individually based, and for those who have a lot of money, you might be able to achieve Vonu faster in some ways, and yeah, you could probably achieve it faster in some ways. But at the same time, Vonu is for everybody. You can make like I think Ray was living on in today's terms $500 a month, which that's the low end of van nomadism. Of that lifestyle. 500 to 750 is, I guess, the more common, monthly expenses, monthly bills and such. So, for people watching still, that's awesome. It's definitely Definitely awesome. So I guess anything else, guys? Anything? Any questions or topics or anything of the sort? Oh yeah, Jason. Yeah, should have registered with yourbestaddress.com. I'm actually I'm actually going to need to do that at some point here in the near future because, you know, I've talked about this before. You know, obviously I talk about how much I hate banks and how Bitcoin is incredible, right? I talk about that a lot, but there's something to be said, especially if you're going to be a digital nomad, about having a U.S. bank account. Sure, everything can be done in Bitcoin, but I mean, I think I probably get. I'm trying to think of what percentage of sales are Bitcoin sales. I don't even know off the top of my head, but I don't know, maybe 20% of them possibly are Bitcoin sales. So if I just did Bitcoin only, I'd lose sales, and a lot of clients that I work for, like especially through Audible, through Amazon, Bitcoin's not an option. It's just PayPal. So sure, I mean, yeah, the Bitcoin's certainly an option, but there's something to be said about having a U.S. bank account, and to have a U.S. bank account, you kind of have to have a valid mailing address, valid physical address actually. And I can probably go through it fine. I haven't switched from my bank in Central Illinois, even though their Federal Reserve System and all their customer service has always been really, really good, and they reverse basically every overdraft fee that I have. No questions asked. So that's big, because I think like the bigger ones like Chase, like you might get 1 or 2 a year, and after that they will not reverse it against policy. So I mean, as a digital nomad, having that U.S. bank account and having something like Your Best Address set up, I think would be really, really beneficial, so that I can ensure that I can still have, I guess, an international bank account of sorts. I could do that in Texaco. You can do that in Mexico, but you have to become a resident. And I don't really want to become a resident of Mexico. If I'm going to become a dual citizen somewhere, it's not going to be, I guess, Mexico or Acapulco, or probably be somewhere like Ecuador, to be completely honest. So, Jason, I fixed my tent? No. I was kind of surprised, because, I was kind of surprised. The Midwest Peace Liberty Fest was like 4 months ago. And I remember the hole on the side of the tent being a lot bigger than what it is. But I got it out today and I was like, oh, that's a small hole. It's no big deal. So no, I didn't fix it. I just put the I'm not going to take off the rain thing to show you guys, but yeah, I just put that on there, and it'll be all right. Yeah, the hole is on this side. It's probably, I don't know how big, 4 or 5 inches. She gets a little wet in there sometimes, but only if it pours down rain. And I like roughing it, so yeah. All right, let's get settled back in. And yeah, I guess I should go ahead and mention this, because why Jason's asking is we recorded an episode of Vonu, which might be released, might not be released. I don't know. Audio quality was apparently really shitty. I'll have to listen to it and find out. But I was talking about my plan, and Jeremy's like, "Are you still using that tent?" I was like, yeah, and he kind of explains, it's got this gigantic hole in it. I was like, yeah, well, it works. And he's like, yeah, we should just like crowdfund you a tent or something. Like that's ridiculous. I'm not gonna buy a new tent. Like I use it. I mean, I'll use it these next 4 days, and if I have space to take it down to Mexico, I will. Just because I might want to camp on the side of the road somewhere, and you don't get harassed for doing that down there in Mexico. So I don't know. I might bring it, but if I don't, it'll sit in my car until. I don't know how long it'll sit there, because I still have to figure out. It'll sit there until December. So. Yeah, I don't know. But Liberty Cat, duct tape fixes everything it does, but in order for duct tape to fix something, I have to care enough to actually use it. I probably should fix it. I really probably should fix it, but I don't. There was one weekend at Anarchon in Virginia where, I don't think it was necessarily just the hole it was at. It was raining all freaking weekend. And, there was, like, a center patch, like, just big enough to, like, for a sleeping bag that was dry, but everything around it was wet. Like they were just puddles in the tent. And that was a miserable weekend, temperature and rain wise. But other than that, I mean, some rain gets in there, some water gets in there, but I'm not gonna melt. I don't know why it's that big of a deal. Jason, yeah, audio is terrible. How I release it anyway. Let people know you're human. Well, I mean, and see, it's not about like, oh, I made a mistake. You know, like it's bad audio. It's the fact that I'm doing everything from my phone now. I'm doing everything from my phone. At least for the next couple of weeks. Because I've got unlimited data coverage in Mexico. So yeah, I expect some live streams, some more live streams like this. But but yeah, I mean, my car is way over there. Oh my gosh, that's not the right. Yeah, my car is way over there. And like, this is primitive camping. Like, what am I supposed to, I'm not going to buy a solar panel just for like, just for 4 days so I can run my mixer and such. I'm just not going to do it. So, yeah, I've been using my phone and these old guys. And, yeah, that one was awful. I don't know what happened there. I have no idea what happened. But yeah, the last one I did of these, and apparently this one sounds good too. But yeah, there might be some bad audio, some bad audio at times in these live streams, and fuck it, I'll probably just release that podcast anyways with a disclaimer. But yeah, I don't like it though. I don't like it because I know that when I hear a podcast and the audio is just god awful, it's hard to listen to. So I kind of feel bad about that. I guess I'll think about it. It'd almost be better just to re-record that because Jeremy's story is important. And if my audio is terrible and it makes his stuff unlistenable, like there's just hum this entire time through the episode, and that like shit annoys the hell out of me. So I'll have to find out what to do with that. But that won't be for another couple weeks, probably. So I don't have to think about that now. But, yeah, Liberty Cats, good to hear. Audio and video are really good now. Yeah. You know, it's crazy. I thought about this, like the technology. Like, there was supposed to be Wi-Fi here. I don't know where the guy that I made the reservation with had that idea, but, like, there's no way there's Wi-Fi here. There's not even, like, like a office or a cabin. It's just a guy, like a volunteer in an RV. So, anyways, I'm on LTE. I did a internet speed test, and it was like 40 megabytes per second download and like 10 upload. It's faster than what I got at the freaking apartment because Cal was getting ripped off. But story for another time. But yeah, it's good to hear. Audio and video are good. Certainly good to hear. So yeah, like I said, this is kind of another test. I need to figure out how to get that title to be different because I don't want people to think we're talking about Defense Distributed for like 5 days straight. It's not that. It's still important, but there hasn't been anything in the news cycle about it. Nothing new has happened. So, oh no. Anything else, guys? Any other questions, topics, or anything of the sort? I'm trying to think. I know there's one, or I know there's something. I know there's always something I can talk about. There's always something. I'm trying to think if there's anything pressing that has been at the forefront lately. I don't think so, really. I do not think so. No, not really. Just excited for doing some country shopping. Hens and I talked about. We were talking about like not just country shopping, but like kind of the country building thing. I guess like libertarian islands and such, and we were talking about that, and also just general country shopping. And I think Hens and I are going to take some trips around Mexico. And he made a good point to me because like we're just talking about suitcase and just a suitcase and or a backpack and just hop on a plane and go wherever. And I don't know, like he mentioned to me, and I kind of agree to a certain extent that. Having a van does limit you quite a lot if the alternative is just traveling like with a suitcase, and he's right. I mean, he's certainly right. You're kind of more limited. Like the more stuff that you have, I guess the guess the less you can, I guess the smaller distance you can go. And also too, I was watching one of these van nomad couples, and apparently there's this spot in Panama. I think it was Panama. It's like 60 miles. There's like a 60-mile stretch where it's just swampland. You can't drive like a 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive van through, really. Like, it's, when people do it, like, they get put in like the record books. Like, it's a pretty incredible thing. Like, oh, you know, these two people rode motorcycles through there in 1997. It's a pretty big deal. So like, they had to spend like 2 or 3 days getting their van on a cargo ship, and then when they got to Colombia, they had to wait like 3 or 4 days there before they could actually have their van. So I mean, it limited them in some way. But yeah, I think it makes a good point that you know, if you're just you know, backpacking or a suitcase, and you can just fly wherever you go, the van might limit you in some ways. But I don't know. In others, I don't think so. In others, I don't think so, because you can't really fly a plane to, I don't know, some of these spots that you can you know, go camp at for the night. You just you really can't. And even like, for example, here now, like now with the small amount of people that are here, like just me and the volunteer guy, I'm pretty sure I could, like, if I had a van, I could just, you know, camp out there in my van, and you know, it'd be fine. But I can't drive back to my camp spot, so it'd be either like, so like I'd be limited in that, at least to a certain extent. But let me see what we got going on here in the chat. But yeah, Eat Your Brain, it's yeah, it's definitely fun. Definitely fun. Like I said in the beginning, a little horrifying getting in here, having to drive. Everything's flooded here. Everything is flooded. But yeah, Jason, future of recording new podcasts and a schedule. Oh man. Probably. So we'll be in Mexico we'll be in Mexico City by the 29th. And there'll probably be another day down to Acapulco, I guess, which is like a 5-hour bus ride. So we should be, so I guess maybe on the 30th we'll get back to Acapulco. I'll probably take a couple of days to go to the beach and not work, and figure out the Wi-Fi situation and all that. And I'd say today's the 23rd. So yeah, and Acapulco by the 30th, maybe like the first week of November might be a good date for the podcast to kind of continue. I still have a backlog I have to put out. Because since it's been so long, I'll probably just release them all in the span of like 2 or 3 days, and then just get back to recording. And I talked to you about this, Jason, and I think what I'm going to do, because I care a lot more about TVP than I do about LUA, but I think what I'm going to do, and the content overlaps so much anyways. Like, why am I doing 2 separate podcasts when I could just do, like, focus on one podcast? Then when LUA is, when there's something else I want to talk about outside of Vonu, it's always there. But I'm thinking about just releasing, just doing kind of TVP and releasing that on LUA. Because I've already combined the Patreon accounts. So the TVP folks get all of LUA anyways. So I don't know. I'm thinking about just focusing like about 95% of my time on Vonu, and then beyond that, yeah, beyond that, I don't know. Really don't know. Let's see. Now, Jason, tell me about the ease of availability of your diabetes supplies as opposed to here in the U.S. So it's not that they're hard to get, you know, hard like climbing mountains or anything. It's not like it's difficult to get them here in the United States, but it's the bureaucratic bullshit. There are plenty of diabetes supplies here in the United States, but yes, basically it's they're super expensive here. You have to have health insurance, just like I have to have health insurance here in the U.S. just to cover prescriptions and doctor's visits, which are like it's supposed to be like 4 a year, but I typically only did like 1 or 2, just enough so they could keep writing me prescriptions. They fucking hated that. I tell you that. I'll tell you what, they did not like that. Yeah, so here in the U.S. you had to have health insurance for all of that, everything. It was so expensive. I think, what was it? It's like $1,500 for 4 or 5 vials of insulin, which is, actually that might be a little too much. So it's probably like $1,400 or $1,500 for 6 vials, which probably lasts me maybe 2 to 3 months. So you're talking, and that would have been the, like, without health insurance, that would have been the price of them. So you're talking like $500 a month for just insulin. The test strips aren't as bad, but Walgreens still is just biggest fucking thieves ever. Seriously, charge at least double what you can get them for online, which I just found that out. Well, when I was when I had health insurance, I didn't care because all I had was a copay anyways. But when I started paying for them out of pocket myself, don't use Walgreens. I can get them. I can get them super cheap. And then for insulin pump supplies, that's the big pain, because down in Mexico, I mean, there are people with insulin pumps, but most of them just use the pens because they can't afford a $5,000 device. And so yeah, that has to be done through. Still have to go through Medtronic for that. There's no way around it because they have their little fascistic, bureaucratic sort of monopoly with here in the USSA, and I mean, it's still just I have to have a prescription still, so I have to find a legitimate doctor there in Acapulco, which won't be difficult, I don't think. And yeah, when I called the guy and I kind of asked him about it, he's like, "Oh yeah, we ship everywhere." And I was like, "So also the prescription too, as long as I find a doctor I can get." He's like, "As long as you can find a legitimate one." And he was kind of making a joke about it, but I'm sure there's some legitimate doctors in Acapulco. I mean, there's a demand for that. Whether there's a population, where there's a decent sized population, there's a need for a good doctor. So I'm not too worried about that. But yes, Liberty Cat, insulin prices can be crazy. But even so I can get test strips. I can walk down the street to get test strips in Acapulco. They're not for the new pump. They're the new tester I use, but it's for the old one. Works fine. They send me free ones, and the test strips are cheaper. But in Mexico, everything's cheap. So most everything. So yeah, the test strips are down the street. They're cheap as hell. I have to go to Mexico City to get my Humalog, so I'll do that once or twice a year. And yeah, it's super cheap. I think like $30 a vial, which would come out to like maybe so what is $30 a vial? So it might come out to like $400 or $500 for my math skills aren't very good. It'd be at least, you know, a third or a fourth of the price in the U.S., to put it another way. So like for international health insurance, they don't even, like, you have to, they will, but you have to pay extra. It doesn't just come with it. But they don't really, it doesn't just come with a plan like here in the US. Like, there's always a prescription plan, whether it's HSA or whatever it is, because they're so goddamn expensive. You have to have those in your coverage. And in Mexico, it's like you can add it on there, but I mean, the price of adding it onto the plan is probably what you'll pay for a doctor's visit anyways. So how often are you going to be going to the doctor? That sort of a thing. So yeah, it's a different world where, yeah, apparently bludgies get beaten a lot. I hope I get to see that sometime. But yeah, Celebrity Cat and insulin price can be crazy, and yeah, so it's been about 35 minutes. Let's see. Oh, Liberty Cat, did you check on availability of vape supplies out of curiosity? Yes, there are vape shops in Acapulco. I did look. I wanted to know how much I need to stock up on, but I mean, it's not. This isn't like. And I guess I kind of had this conception too before I looked into it. Like, even when I was just looking into Los Algodones, one of the border towns, known for its medical tourism, I kind of had this idea that you aren't gonna be able to get anything like here. Like, it's gonna be nice, but I mean, it's just gonna be super like third world country sort of stuff. Like, that's kind of the mindset. But no, like once you start doing some research, no, it's not. It's not like that. But yeah, vape supplies, they're there. I might have to buy a different vape pen because I don't know what they carry there, like what supplies. But that's not a big deal. I don't really care about that. It's probably about time for a new one, anyways. But yeah, everything I need is there. And if it's not there, it's a $30 bus ride to Mexico City. Friend said there weren't many where her parents lived. Yeah, so like I looked at a curiosity too. It wasn't gonna be a make or to break it thing. Like, if they didn't have a vape shop in Acapulco, I don't know. Like, it wouldn't have been a make it or break it thing. But yeah, there's a vape shop. it's a trendy thing now, and there are a lot of white people there in Acapulco, and still some tourism and resorts and such. So there's a market for it, I think. I don't know 100% because again I haven't been there yet, but that's what I imagine at least. So 5 people stuck around the whole time. That's great. Yes, and Liberty Cat online sales, and if you factor this in too, like imagine a very small vape company in the U.S. with like at the onslaught of the recent FDA regulations. I guess I wonder if people shipping into the U.S. stuff, they'd still have to go through customs and stuff, so it might not actually be worth it. But I think you kind of knew where I was going with that. There's online sales, yeah, for sure. In Mexico, yeah, you just bribe somebody. It's a lot cheaper than it's doing here in the U.S. as far as I understand it. You just bribe governments. I mean, that's just what you do. Just go where it's cheapest to do it. Let's see how this light's gonna work out here. Not awful, not great. But yeah, it's getting dark. What time is it? 7 p.m. 7 p.m. It's weird with it being this warm when it's getting dark at 7 p.m. It's typically in Illinois. I think a couple weeks ago it was like 30 degrees there. Although I guess it was low 40s here in Austin, so. But yeah, anything else, guys? I got about 29% battery life in my phone. I should probably save a little bit of it. Just for the hell of it. Hell, I'll run it till it dies if you guys have questions and stuff. But yeah, 37 minutes. So I guess we'll go ahead just kind of to wrap this up. If like I said, I'm going to do one of these a week up until Friday, and that'll be that'll just be a public thing. But I am doing on the way to Mexico. On the way to Mexico, I guess, and then also the road trip through Mexico down to Acapulco. I'll be doing some public stuff, obviously, but I'm also going to be filming. I guess it'll be an interesting test to see how high quality of a documentary you can film with an iPhone. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that turns out, like an iPhone documentary. I mean, it's decent quality camera, certainly not not as good as a $1,000 camera, but regardless, I will be doing, I guess, sort of a documentary and a series on Patreon, patreon.com/Vonu, if you do want to support this podcast. Because I don't know what to expect, but I do know this is great content for Vonu. And also just a great experience for me as, exercising some more strategic relocation and also country shopping. So, yeah, it'll be a lot of fun, and I hope you guys do continue to join me on this journey. Again, patreon.com/Vonu. But let's see here, radiofreeuk.org, just so you know that you have a global audience. Only just tuned in, so what's happening? Hey, Radio Free, good to see you. Good to see you. And, yeah. No problem on arriving late. I know if you're in the UK, it's certainly a different time there. What, like 6 hours ahead, something like that. So certainly understand. Everyone's got their own stuff going on. So yeah, check it out. Check it out. You'll hear the story of why I am where I am now and what is to come. Basically on a road trip to Acapulco is kind of the idea. So, yeah, Liberty Cat, thanks for joining. Yeah, thanks for joining me. It's certainly great to have you. See you again. And Jason says, save your phone for emergencies, brother. If there is an emergency, man, I'll just go plug it into my car. It's not that far away. But once I stop the stream, it'll be okay for the night. But yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and wrap it up there. Thanks so much. Having 6-7 people in the stream. It's been a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed it. And it's getting dark, so you won't be able to see me for much longer. And I think the whole draw to this is the scenery and the location. So the darker it gets, I think the less interesting the live stream will be as well. So thanks, guys. And yeah, VonuPodcast.com. Make sure to stay apprised there. And I will see you guys probably tomorrow night. Have a good one, guys.